What's up, BookTube? Back with another weekly update. So, finally was able to get through The Will of the Many and Project Hail Mary. So, I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done something. I feel like I've accomplished at least one task. And then I also feel like I've lost a good friend by reading a really great book. Now, as far as The Will of the Many, I will say this. It's a 4 out of 5 for me, stars. It didn't end the way that I specifically hoped it would. I was hoping that that ending would be that main driving force to just flow into the second book. Unfortunately, it did not. Actually, it ended very anticlimactic to me, even though it did end on a cliffhanger. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to right now drive me to book two, which is very disappointing because, you take something, you take a book series that just, maybe you haven't enjoyed it all the way through, but yet you get to those last few pages of it and it ends on that note that just really catches your attention and makes you go, you know what? You forget all the stuff in the past 300 pages and you just remember that ending, that amazing ending that drives you forward. And sometimes you need that with books. Unfortunately, this book did not deliver. That being said, it is still a 4 out of 5 stars. I will continue with this series. I think James Islington is a great author. I just personally felt like the build up to the main course was didn't end in the same didn't end in that big ultimatum, or that big where everything just kind of came together and we got to see this amazing ancient world technology. I just feel like we didn't get to see that. I feel like that was something that maybe in you take something like Sun Eater, by the time you go to book 1 to book 2, you get to see some of that stuff. And that drives you, at least it did for me, to wanting to read book 3 of that specific series. Unfortunately, the driving force in The Will of the Many, it just didn't hit. So I'm a bit disappointed by this. I think this is, even though this is January, this is probably my second biggest disappointment, I would say. But it's still on up there. Now, as far as Bernard Cornwell's The Winter King, I'm loving every minute of this. I'm currently about 70% through with this book. It's slow. Even though it's a slow read, it's not something that at least I personally cannot read like 50 pages in. I've been trying to hit about a daily match of like 15 pages, 20 pages a day. I'm reading all these books at one time, so I kind of have to split them up in that regard. I'm not one that reads one book at a time and then hurries and finish it and then go to the next book. That's just not me. That's just not how I do things. I like to do it all at one time throughout the month. Is it slower pace at that? Probably so, but that's just the way I handle things. But as far as this book is concerned, I cannot wait. This is one where I cannot wait to get to the second book. I don't even care how the ending is with this one. It had one little lull that maybe I didn't enjoy, but we're at least where I'm personally at with this book as of right now, about 70% of the way through. I think I'm exactly 70% of the way through. But where I am personally with this specific book, it's a 4.5, bordering on a 5-star read. That's the way I look at it. This book, to me, is a masterpiece. While it might not be as great as some of my 5-star reads, this book is going to stick with me. This book has given me a love for Arthurian legend which I previously did not have. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Now I love it. Now I want everything about it. Now as an author, I want to explore that world in my writing. I want to explore that world in my reading. I guarantee you, after I finish this series, I'm probably going to go on to some kind of other Arthurian legend style book and try that out. So I'm forever grateful to Bernard Cornwell for introducing me to this world. A world that hopefully I will be exploring for years to come, and in whether it be my writing or my reading or my television watching as well. But I definitely have a new passion for this world, and I look forward to reading his other series as well. Like I guarantee you, as soon as I finish this series, I'm going right straight to the next one, and that right there is what I wanted out of The Will of the Many. It didn't deliver, but I guarantee you The Winter King did deliver for me. Now, as far as my biggest disappointment of the year and the current bane of my existence is Piranesi. What do I not... how do I put it? What do I love about this book? I cannot think of a single thing that I really truly actually love with it. It's a fast read. Maybe it's that. It's a fast read when you are reading it. But while you are reading it, you're like, oh, if there's one book that I just dread reading a day, it's this one. This is usually the first read that I go towards, because I know if I can get through this, I can make it through anything. That's the way this specific book feels. I do not understand how this is a masterpiece. I really, truly don't. People are so enthralled with this book, like it's life-changing. It is, like I said, it's a bane to me right now. It is something that I literally dread. I do not like this world. I don't like this world. I don't like the way it's told. I don't like the mystery to it, because at the end of the day, I figured out this mystery by page 40. I think anybody who reads this book, if they're just being real with themselves, this is a terrible mystery book. Like, you already know what's going on. Unless there's just like this game-changing moment at the very end of this book, I cannot stand this. I wanted to go into another book by Susanna Clarke right after this, but after reading this, I don't know. This might be a Brandon Sanderson moment after, I read Mistborn. When it come to that, it might be Susanna Clarke might be an author that I read maybe once a year. I don't know. I'm still wanting to check out some of her other work and give it a second chance, but as far as where I'm personally standing right now, I'm not loving this book. I'm not loving anything about this book. So that's where I'm at now. I think I have about 40 pages left in this book, and I guarantee you I will be taking my sweet time with this. I will have it done by next week, the next weekly update. But I guarantee you this is a book that I will be taking my time with. I will not be finishing it tomorrow or the next day. I'm going to take my sweet time because I just dread it that much. Now, as far as this book, The Hunger of the Gods, this is something that I have, I'm currently starting on. I'm hopefully going to have it finished by the end of next month. I don't know. It is a pretty long book. I am enjoying it so far. I think Gwynne is just an amazing author. So this will definitely be one of my February reads. Hopefully I can get as much done. I'm hoping I can get as much done with this book, until February comes. Maybe get about halfway through. That's my goal, is to finish half of it in January and then the rest of it in February. But so far, I'm loving this read. Actually, I think I'm enjoying this specific book more than I enjoyed the first one, because I really wasn't hooked on the first one until really the ending to it is really what hooked me with this book. This is another one, a carryover of where the first book intrigued me. Now the second book, intrigued me in the end, and then it's a carryover to the second book. So overall, loving this so far. Not very far in. I'm probably about 100 pages into this so far, but so far enjoying the characters that basically I've kind of missed. But as far as this other book, now this is another book that is from an author that I have been wanting to explore, to read a book of. There's a couple of series that he has that I want to check out, but I decided to go with this one at first. Now this is a very slow-paced book for me. It's, from what I understand, or at least what I've come across, is a murder mystery kind of book with greater implications when it comes to the greater kingdom as a whole. I know this book takes place with magic. I've seen very little of it so far in it. Granted, I'm not very far into it, but I have not seen that quite yet. I don't mind the main protagonist of it. She's really a fun character to follow. But I will say, as of right now, most of these characters are very forgettable. And so far, the story is very forgettable. The world is very forgettable. There's nothing that really is enticing me about the Justice of Kings as of right now. Now, will that be the case by next week? I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that this is something that, like I said, is a new favorite series. That's what I'm going into with this, because I've heard so many great things about this series. Fortunately, it's not hitting there, but I'm not dreading it anywhere like I am Piranesi or The Will of the Many or any of those. I'm not dreading reading any of those. So that's where I personally am with this book. So overall, that's just where I'm at. I feel like this year started off to a really good things by Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary did not let me down. In fact, I think the ending of Project Hail Mary was probably better than anything I could have imagined it being. It really was a sad moment. Like, I almost teared up reading this. It clearly was a 5 out of 5 star when it come to me with that. So I'm not going to say that January was a bad reading month, even though, yes, I did have trouble with some of the books. Finishing some of the books, I'm still having trouble finishing some of these I already should have had done. But overall, I will say Project Hail Mary made that everything worth it. It made everything worth it. And so that's my reading so far in January. I hope y'all have had a better reading experience. I hope every book is a banger. I hope every book is a 5 out of 5 for y'all so far this month. I haven't had that luck, but like I said, Project Hail Mary, as of right now, me personally, I would say that it's probably my favorite book of all time. That's how much I actually enjoyed that specific book. So that alone is something that, hey, 2026 brought me a new favorite. And who knows? Hopefully, and I'm really meaning this when I say this, I hope that tier list changes and it's lower down on the list, because that means that I've had a great reading experience this year. And that's my goal for 2026, is to not just read books that booktube darlings. It's to read books that I'm currently invested in and think will be enjoyable books that I'll go for. Not just trends, basically. So you're going to see a lot of that on this channel in the next coming months. It's going to be books that I personally feel like I'm going to enjoy. I'm not going to go read a book that is... Like, I'm not going to read the second Mistborn book as of yet, probably of this year, simply because I didn't enjoy the first book, and I'm not going to probably enjoy the second book either. So I'm not going to put myself through something if it's a book that I personally feel like I won't enjoy. I'm not following trends like I did last year. That was the big mistake last year, and I read a lot of terrible books because of it. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Have y'all enjoyed this year's reading list? Have y'all got done, even though it's halfway through, have y'all got done the books that y'all want to get done? How many more do y'all have left? Let me know what y'all think of my criticisms or praise of certain books that I've named here. But let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.